What's up, guys?
Yo.
How you doing? Welcome. Happy Wednesday if you're listening on release day.
Yay.
Good to have you here. I hope that last week you guys enjoyed the guest episode. That was so fun.
Yeah.
We hope to do more of those.
Ainsley's the best. Go follow her if you haven't already.
If you haven't seen that episode, go check it out. It was so fun to do. And so, yeah, we're hoping to do lots more interviews in the future.
Yeah.
It was a really fun time, but we are back to just the two of us chilling.
Here we are.
Having a great time. We just had some Hershey Kisses because of from what left over from a Galentine's party.
Yep.
I'm sad I missed the one you had.
It was fun.
It's okay.
It was fun.
I've gone to 2 now. My first ever Galentine's.
How was it?
It was fun. I did one with my sister and her friends. So that was cute.
What'd you guys do?
We did so first of all, my sister and I we DIY'd our shirts. We sewed on little hearts and stuff,
Aww.
which was really cute. And then it was just a night of they just set up cute stuff to take photos. We decorated cookies. We watched How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Oh, that's cute.
It was that kind of vibe.
I like that movie.
And then I went to one with my roommate and some of her friends. And that was again, just chilling. Cookies, snacks. Cute,
yeah.
Everything pink.
I love that.
What about you, though? Because I know I missed yours, but it seemed like it was really cute.
Yeah, we had a bunch of food. And it was a brunch where it was everything was sugary. Mm-hmm. Everything. We had chocolate chip pink waffles. We had heart macarons. Literally everything pink and girly. And
Amazing.
then we played We're Not Really Strangers. Yeah.
Whoa.
And I wanted us to play that because our craft was making friendship bracelets.
I'm so sad I missed it. Oh my
it was
gosh.
cute. Here, this was really cute. Tata made me this one.
That's so cute.
So everybody picked out 2 names.
Aww.
So you had to make somebody else in the circle a friendship bracelet.
That's
so
cute.
everyone was tying bracelets. It was really cute. I'll make you one, Sophia.
Okay, thank you. But yeah, so I hope everyone had a great Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
As of listening, it's end of February,
yeah.
March. So yeah, I don't know. It's been kind of still weirdly cold here, but it's been okay.
I'm over it.
Me too. Ready for spring. Anyways, we are going to talk today about our book ratings and how we rate books and how we decide where to place a rating. And then also we have kind of some fun reviews that we want to read from GoodReads,
yes.
which first of all, GoodReads is a very unreliable source.
Completely.
People go bonkers on there. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But we're going to read some 1-star reviews of our 5 and 6-star books. So it's been really funny to look at those because they in no way sway my opinion. And I think you either.
No.
But it's just hilarious to see.
Some of them are incomplete. Some of them are just
grammar.
Did we read the same book?
Literally.
They're really funny.
So we'll get into those.
Yeah,
it's pretty funny.
It'll be funny. Get a coffee or drink and a snack and
you're ready to chill.
Yeah.
So Kaitlin, obviously the typical book ratings, go from 1 to 5. That's kind of how I don't know who decided that. I don't know why we don't go to 10.
It's like a movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't movies go from 1 to 5?
I'm pretty sure. So whoever decided that, obviously we have this system of giving a book 5 stars or 4 stars, but then people get very specific. I've noticed with 4.5, 4.25, 3.75, all of that. Do you get specific or how do you place rankings / what are your thoughts when you give a book a certain star rating, whether that is a very specific 4.25 or just a 4 stars,
I will never go below a 2.
Okay.
And with the 2, I really have had to trudge through that. I've only given a 2 once. Only one time. But the only reason I will give at least a half star, it's because I can't decide whether or not if it's a 4 or a 5, so I'll give it a 4.5.
Gotcha.
I don't really do 4.7. I don't personally do that. I don't get why, but the half gives at least you're right in between a really great book and a good book.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
So when you rate something, have you rated many books 3 stars, or is that kind of you don't even hit that ground?
I've rated books 3 stars.
What's your thought process when you think a book is a 3 star?
I think if the last quarter of the book is unsatisfying. If I can feel, is the book going somewhere? Is the ending going to be great? And then it's just...
you said, is the book booking? And I was like...
Is the book booking?
I was okay.
That's cute.
I mean, that's fair.
It's usually if the ending is satisfying or not. But I think the rest of the book is good.
Okay.
Yeah, what about you?
I think for me a 3-star just kind of hits the midpoints, right? So like, oh, I liked that thing, or this has some tropes that I like, or oh, I thought that scene was really cute, but overall I'm kind of left with just like a meh feeling.
Right.
Like that for me is a mid. I would say 3 stars is just for me a mid book. Like I enjoyed it, but probably I won't think of it again.
Usually with 3 stars, I know I'm not going to be rereading it. 4 or 5, I will probably reread the book.
Do you recommend 3-star books in case you think they would work for somebody else's reading taste? Or do you just like, interesting?
I do. If I can figure out what the other person likes, then I'll be like, oh, you might like this book. I didn't.
Right.
But you might like it more than I did.
Yeah. I feel like I do that too, where if I gave a book like a 3.5 vibe, like that's still a good book.
Yeah.
I'm not maybe going to think about it that much, like I said, but if I know a friend's book taste and I'm like, hey, you might really, really enjoy this book. Like for me, it was definitely like, but I might not even go into like that it was mid for me. I might just be like, oh, you know, and maybe it's also a genre thing, I think.
Oh, maybe.
You know?
Maybe.
Or because I just haven't explored much of like maybe a typical, like for example, I haven't read a ton of thrillers. Like I'll just be honest.
Oh.
And so I haven't found like a 5-star thriller.
Okay.
But I have some ones that are in that like 4-star range for me that I'm like, okay, I know I don't have much experience with thrillers, but if somebody else doesn't as well, like I'll recommend you the thriller that I gave a 4-star, you know? I don't know. I feel like, but 4-star for me, like a straight 4-star, I'm like, I really enjoyed this book. It didn't hit all the points that I wanted it to hit. It didn't give me that feeling, but I still really enjoyed it.
Right.
And then like I agree with the 4.5. You're like, it was so close. Like it was so close. Like it was, you know, I don't know. And then like, because we also, you and I have discussed in the past that we have some 6-star books.
Yes.
But what for you like is the difference between a 5 and 6-star? Like, you know?
I think it becomes a 6-star when it's been months and months and I have yet to stop thinking about it. Like a 5-star, I'll usually, if I absolutely loved it, cried, had a lot of emotions throughout, couldn't put it down, it'll always be a 5. Then if a few months go by, I'm like, oh my gosh, I really love this. So something like Black Cake, A River Enchanted, I think about those daily. And I didn't think I would like be so attached to fictional characters, but then I'm like, oh, I'm so attached, it's a 6-star.
Yeah.
What makes 6 stars for you?
Very similar. I will say I definitely have had books like fluctuate, maybe is that the right word, like in terms of ratings, but that goes for my 4 stars, my 5 stars. Like sometimes I'll immediately give a book a 5-star, and then if I haven't thought about it again, I'll be like, so that wasn't a 5-star because I haven't thought about it again. I mean, so maybe it drops like a 4.5, you know? So once I set a rating on a book, usually it stays that, but definitely I agree that like maybe books I've given a 5-star, if it's still on my mind, like it's getting pushed up, you know?
Right.
And that's the same thing for me with like Book Lovers, for example. I love those characters, and in terms of like just a romance, and so a non-fantasy world, like a world that's very rooted in our own, like I could see those people being real characters. I can see like, you know, and I don't stop thinking about their story. And I'm right there with you with River Enchanted, obviously. Yeah. Like the amount of times that I think about those characters, I'm like, yeah.
Oh, 100%.
I love them. So I definitely think the 6-star category for me, like, there's maybe like, I would say when I put down River Enchanted, like you and I were talking about this, it was like only like a few days later that you and I both were like, is this a 6-star? Like, I think it's reaching that, like, because I immediately gave it 5 stars. Yeah. Like immediately. And then I think you and I were like discussing, we were like, okay, no, it's getting bumped up. Like it's definitely, it's that good. And it makes me so sad to see people that are just like, this book is so mid. I'm like, like I know we
don't worry everybody, we're gonna go through those real quick. We'll
get to those, but yeah, I wish it got, you know, I wish more people loved it. You know? I mean, like we talked about, like that book specifically is very cozy fantasy, so I understand why some people wouldn't like it, but for me, I'm just like, please love this book.
I know,
please, you know.
Yeah, it's one of our favorites.
Yeah,
for sure.
Do you have any well, first of all, if you want to share, what was that 2-star book?
I bet everybody on this podcast can guess which one.
I mean, I think I can guess, but like,
what are you thinking about?
I think it's People We Meet on Vacation, but you didn't even finish it.
I did.
Oh, you did finish it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. It was a bummer.
I don't know why I thought you DNF'd that.
You know what? It was so low for me at the time. First of all, it was my first Emily Henry book.
Yeah.
So I probably should have started with Book Lovers or Beach Read, but I decided I like this cover. I need to get it. And I think what it was is that I would pick up my Kindle and read it. I'd read maybe like 5 pages, put it down.
Interesting.
And then try to pick it up. And I was waiting for a moment where the plot was just like, oh, we're going somewhere. And I was like, we are not really. Now, my thoughts are, I hope that the screenplay for the movie is going to be really good, because then I might rethink it. But I think what it was is that I never found a place where I could read more than 5 to 10 pages at a time before putting it down.
Interesting.
And I'd have to keep taking breaks, and I'm like, I don't get it.
I think another thing to add on to that idea of like how I rate a book, not how I read a book, how I rate a book. But also how I read it, is that idea of, do I find myself just not in the mood for it? Like you said, like 5 pages and you're like, I just want to go back on my phone, or I just want to, move on. But a book that you get so immersed in that you don't want to put down, or like if you have to put it down, like I missed a stop on the train because I was so invested in a book. Like, and I never I think I texted you, although ironically it was Air and Fire. Which is
hilarious.
As of the point of recording, you're making your way through. But I was so invested that I missed a stop. I just think that for me, like, another good measure of how to rate a book is how often I want to pick it up, and also am I getting distracted? Am I so immersed in it? Or am I, when I have to put it down, I'm like, I can't wait to get back to that book.
Exactly.
Like when I get home from work tonight, that's what I'm doing. I'm reading, So that also definitely affects.
That's what I think too.
The rating.
Recently, I read None of This Is True by Lisa Joel.
So did I.
What'd you think?
I really liked it. That was one of the thrillers I gave 4 stars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I gave it 5.
Yeah.
So guys, if you're looking for a thriller, that's very, just so weird. It's that one.
It's trippy.
But I felt like it was written so well. I liked it. I liked it a lot. But something like that, I hadn't read a good thriller in a while, and it had a lot of hype on Book Talk, and I was like, I'm just going to try it. Yeah. I see it, and I was on a cruise, so I started reading it, went to sleep, and immediately I picked up my Kindle that was right now, and I kept reading it. I couldn't stop.
I listened to it on audiobook, which I think we talked about. And the reason why is because I was driving. I had like a 6-hour drive back and forth a couple weekends ago. And I don't, like, true confession, I want to get into audiobooks more because I want to get back into like my other cozy hobbies, which like a big one for me is crocheting. Like Girl,
I want to get into it. You got to teach me.
I'll teach you. I'm a huge crocheter, I'll be honest. Like I'll just show you all the projects that I've done.
That's awesome.
I don't know if you know this like about me that much, but I'm a huge crocheter. Like I love crochet, but I've kind of put it to the side.
Hold on, I need to know what's the biggest project that you've done with it?
Oh my gosh, the biggest, like in terms of physically biggest project, was I've made like blankets that fit like twin size and queen size beds. But but that's easy because it's just the same like stitch pattern. The most complicated one I did was I made a cardigan. Well, for Christmas of 2022, I made all of my family a personalized crochet like clothing item. So maybe I'll share that on like the Instagram for all of our listeners. But yeah, so some of them were easier. I never really made clothes before though. I had really only ever done like blankets and scarves. And there was some patterns that I chose that were a little bit easier, but for my brother-in-law, I made a like big thick sweater, and that pattern, even the stitch was very like tricky. And then, but the hardest one was for my mom. I made her this gray cardigan that had all of these intricate, like little, almost like like when you see crochet projects, they look like they have like little braids and twists and stuff in them. That was the kind of pattern that I did. And so that took a lot of brain power to like focus.
That's awesome.
But all to say, I'm kind of missing that right now. Like I'm kind of missing crocheting. And so I want to get into audiobooks a little bit more because I feel like then I can do both.
Right.
And so, but all that to say, I listened to None of This Is True on my drive because I was like, this is a good chance for me to listen to a book and get through a book that I've heard is really good on audiobook. Like this could be a good chance for me to experience this a little bit. And also because Spotify Premium has now started doing like a lot more audiobooks, which is great.
Really?
Yeah, they have so many available.
Oh,
If,
because
like,
I think when they launched it, you had to buy it still.
Yeah, well, now on Spotify Premium, like, even the entire ACOTAR series is available. Like, it's crazy.
You're joking.
Not Throne of Glass, which makes me sad.
Dang
but
it, I was about to say, maybe...
But all of ACOTAR is. But they have so many things available. And so when I listened to it, I loved it because they did different voices. And, like, as you know,
that.
a big part of the book is this, like, podcast kind of
Yes.
like documentary style. And they would switch up the mic audio when it was the podcast.
That's amazing.
It was really cool. And so you could hear the difference. And then when it did the documentary, then it would almost sound distant. I'd have to turn it up a couple times. Be like,
wow.
what? Yeah, it was really almost like a drama. So all that to say, I really do want to get into more audiobooks. But in terms of a thriller, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a four stars for me. If I think about it more in the future, maybe it'll bump up a little bit.
Well, let me ask,
yeah.
when you're rating, like, if you're rating a fantasy
Yeah.
versus a romance versus a thriller or whatever, here, basically my question is, what are you giving fantasies that have to be a 5 or 6 star? Like, what qualifies the book?
I feel like, I mean, as we all know, fantasy is probably my most read genre at this point. So I have a lot of things that I know that I love and a lot of things that I don't like. So I feel like my standards are a little bit higher for fantasy specifically. Mm-hmm. Romance is probably the second one up there where, again, I feel like I've got some higher standards.
Yeah.
Thriller and, like, literary fiction, I feel like I don't know what I like yet.
Okay.
You know? So in terms of ratings, I definitely think I'm a little bit harsher for the fantasy and the romance. And so it really has to hit all of those points, right? All the things I know I love, not necessarily tropes. Like, I'm not huge on, like, oh, a book has to have this trope for me to love it. Like, it's not about that. It's about, like, the chemistry of the characters,
right,
the development of the story. Like, am I being pulled in? That kind of thing. Versus maybe with, like, a literary fiction. Because it's usually written in a more kind of pulled back way or maybe a more abstract way, I don't know what to think sometimes after I finish a literary fiction, because I'm like, okay, I don't know if I understood it properly, or I don't know if I really, like, connected to the characters. And so that rating, I'm almost like, is it my fault or is it the book's fault? You know? So I'm still learning. I'm diving into that genre a little bit more, but it's I think I'm harsher with the genres that I'm way more comfortable in. I feel like we're probably pretty similar in that, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think a fantasy for me has to have a very, like, more character driven than plot driven. I think I'm also leaning toward a really unique magic system, which is why I put, like, A River Enchanted so high, is because, like, if you like Avatar, The Last Airbender, if you know, you know, you could probably, like, try to relate it because of all the elements. Yeah. But it's so different. I can't even explain to you guys. You have to read it. You have to read it and tell us if you read it, because it's nuts. I mean, it's so good. Yeah. A Throne of Glass. It's so unique. Right. And though that is, like, more plot driven, you're still obsessed with the characters. So Sarah J. Maas obviously does a great job at, like,
I feel like she balances it really well.
Yes.
And not every author balances it well. Yeah. Because I think that I need plot as much as character, you know, but which is, like, going back to literary fiction, a lot of times those books are just, like, character, no plot. You know? We're just following maybe somebody's life. That's true. And, like, I don't know if that hits with me, you know? Anyways, but with fantasy, I need both. I need, like, really good plot, but I also really need to be able to connect to the characters. And some authors do that really well, and other authors I'm kind of like I don't know if it hit those points, you know. But yeah, I think I totally agree with, like, you know, you gotta find that sweet spot.
Yeah, I think especially also the endings of fantasy books, especially if it's in a series. I feel like almost every ending's gotta hit something, whether that's a cliffhanger or it answered some questions and then left another one unanswered, and you're like, what's that? Or, like, a really crazy epilogue, and you're like, what the heck is that?
What just happened?
And that's, I think, what makes fantasy really, really special. And I think thriller does that too. At the very end could be a nuts epilogue, and you're like, what? And so now you're rethinking the whole entire book, and you're like, what the heck? Yeah. Anyway, guys, we're gonna jump into some really wild,
I'm excited,
1-star. So we're basically reading 1-star ratings of our favorite books. Yeah.
we will not obviously say who wrote these because why would we do that? But it's really funny just to see people's opinions, and even reading through these, I think I mentioned at the beginning, like none of these affect the way that I'm like thinking of my favorite books, but it's very funny because I also think that GoodReads is such a mixed bag. Like, I almost never trust anybody's opinion on GoodReads. Like, unless it's my friends reviewing a book. I'm like, oh, because I could, I trust my friends' opinions. But people go wild on there. It's a crazy place. Yeah. So, yeah, we have some different ones. I'll have you start us off.
Okay.
Kaitlin.
Guys, if you know, I love Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. I read it this summer. It's super cute. Go read it. Best Friends to Lovers. Here's a few 1-star reviews. Christina Lauren should sue for copyright infringement.
Do you want to give us a little bit of background on maybe why that could be?
Christina Lauren, there are 2 authors that put their names together, and they have a book called Love in Other Words that came out before this. So people think that Carly Fortune stole that. I really don't think so. Now, did I read Love in Other Words? No. But I'm saying LOL.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. My dog's name is Percy. I couldn't take this seriously. This girl was... That's the end.
The review is just...
Was.
This girl was.
Mm-hmm. There's 203 likes on that review.
Wow. People really went ham on that one.
Let me give 2 more. I could have just... no, maybe not that one. Okay, ready? This is a good one.
Okay.
I just remembered how much I hate. 143 likes. Okay, well,
right.
There you go.
You let us know your thoughts.
That was really deep, actually.
That was really I forgot how much I really hate. You want to expand on that? You want to give us some more information?
Go ahead,
Thank
Sophia.
you. Okay, so I'm going to start off with some from Kingdom of Ash, which is the last book of the Throne of Glass series.
Okay.
So this is the 8th book of this series. I mean, if you're reading this, you've gone through the entire journey. At least I hope so. I hope you're not just picking up Kingdom of Ash. Like, that would be...
Right. Well,
I don't know.
We don't know about these 1-stars.
The hope is that you've gone through the whole series. Okay. That's one of my favorite books. I think it ends the series in an amazing way. So the first one I'm going to read is... the context is that the word is misspelled. So... I'll read to you what I think it should be saying, or what I think this person is trying to say, which is 1 star. This is the ugliest cover I've ever seen. Which, first of all, has nothing to even do with the book. But here we go. This is the Ulgest, spelled Ulgest. So this is the Ulgest cover I've seen.
Wow.
1 star.
That was deep. That was really deep.
This other one makes me laugh because I cannot tell if this person genuinely meant to give it a 1 star, because this review is amazing.
Oops.
And it's rated a 1 star. Okay. So 1 star. I don't think I will... I can't read. 1 star. I don't think I will be able to function for a very long time. I need time to process this. I also need to stop crying. But this book was amazing, and it was everything I wanted from the finale. I will always love the series to whatever end.
Hello?
A 1 star?
Hello? No.
I'm like...
She accidentally pressed 1.
I think so, but I...
What?
This other one, I give up. I don't even care. Like, okay. And then, I think that's what I'm gonna, like... I don't know. I was just
a good thing you're giving up, because it's the last book of the whole series, bro.
So you're done. You're good.
Oh my gosh. Can people relax for 2 seconds? Okay.
That was funny. All right. Throw another one at me.
All right. This is A River Enchanted, which we've been talking about. Hello.
At this point, we are the poster girls for
We are. We are. There are a little bit longer ones, but okay, I'm going to read some of it.
Okay.
I've never been so happy to finish a book. This was just so boring. And how I finished it? I have no idea. There was basically 4 main characters, and I didn't care about them.
How dare you? They have my whole heart.
Rude. First of all, rude. Okay. DNF'd at 30%.
Why are you giving it a rating then?
The audiobook. Loved the premise, but I honestly don't have the patience to sit through such a slow-paced book. Like, how are we going to be 5 hours in and nothing has beeping happened? Okie dokie. Here's a really interesting one. Oh, man. Such a pretty cover. I was hoping I'd be obsessed with it so I could add this gorgeous book to my shelves. But no, I mean, the magic and mythology and world are so interesting. And that's it.
That's a lot. That's actually some positive feedback, though, kind of. Amazing cover.
She's just upset.
But then give it a one. Man.
I really, can't even, looks like their profile picture is, anyway. Your turn, Sophia.
Okay, I'm gonna give some from Book Lovers, which
Woohoo,
I've obviously
we
talked
love
about
it.
a lot. I'm gonna start off with this review. 1 star. Ironically, this book will make you no longer a book lover.
What does that have to do with it?
I don't know, but that's really funny.
Okay.
Okay, this one's funny. Just because I feel like this person again did not really mean to finish out the sentence with this kind of grammar, but they did. DNF'd at 60%, bored out of my nut.
Ew.
I'm like, but just like a singular. I'm like, what?
What does that?
I don't know.
You DNF'd it. Why are you reviewing it? Here's my thing, guys. I just need to come in here. If you have not finished a book, don't go on GoodReads and rate it.
Because then also you're marking it as read, right? I'm just saying. Which I have my thoughts about that.
Yep.
I'll give you one more. 1 star. I ripped this book apart and burned it. Have a good life, y'all.
Ew.
That's so
That's really
that's
dark.
intense. That's so intense.
I ripped it and burned it.
Yeah. Have a good life, y'all.
I'm concerned,
People,
reader.
I'm telling you, people go crazy.
That's a little much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got one.
Okay.
This is The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. So it's like, is it real, like realism magic? What do we call it?
I would say it's like magical realism.
Okay, I said realism magic. Okay, moving on.
We're on the same page here.
So there is some magic, but it's set in our world.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
1 star. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
So stupid. It's so highly rated that I'm wondering whether I read the same book as... Okay.
That made the mics cut out. It was so
Okay.
Hey.
Well, read the same book as. That's really great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what I missed here. The reviews are high, mostly 5 stars, but this was the most boring book I've ever read. I found it lifeless and lackluster. It didn't excite me at all. And the only reason I finished it is because...
I'm wondering.
Let's just not finish our sentences anymore.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, I have 2 more.
Okay.
DNF'd. Boring and predictable, very slow and not well written. 9 likes. Okay. I'm so beeping disappointed with this that although it rightly would be a 2, I'm giving it a 1. I'm so disappointed. Wow, it's making me a bit sad, all in caps. Maybe I'll elaborate, but I found this lifeless and lacking...
Oh, they use the same terms.
That's...
Ooh.
Oh, interesting.
I wonder if they read that other person's review. It's like, copy and paste.
Bummer, your turn.
I'm going to do just a couple from a book that I think I've talked about briefly on this pod before, but not much, which is the Dance of Thieves duology. And I decided to read some, pick some from the second book, which is Vow of Thieves, because that's like a 5-star. It's a 5-star series for me, like overall in terms of the duology, but the first book, it was like a 4.5, but Vow of Thieves was a 5.
That's high.
So there's a couple here which are all in a row. So I'll just read them. So we've got 1 star. Crusty Dumpster Fire Toad Novel.
Oh my god.
I was just like, okay. And then the next two in a row are just no. 1 star. What even happened? But yeah, my favorite is Crusty Dumpster Fire Toad novel. I think that's really great. So those are what I got from that one. That one just really stuck out to me.
I think all of these reviewers need to take a creative writing class, finish their sentences, and pick something new to say, honey. Like, here's my thing. If there's an actually good 1-star review, I might take it in and be like, oh, that's interesting. I never thought about it. But when you don't finish your sentences.
Yeah. Or if you're just going to be, like, silly with it, then I'm like, I don't know, I don't know. I did find a funny one that I'll mention. We both, or at least I don't think you've read One True Loves, right?
I have.
You have.
I love that one.
I was gonna read a review that was a spoiler, but I'm not gonna read it. But I'm gonna read one that is just funny to me. And all it is 1 star. GoodReads deleted my review with some angry face emojis. And I'm like,
they're mad at GoodReads.
I'm like, so how harsh did you go in?
So this person's giving GoodReads a 1 star. Hello?
I guess so. Or maybe their review was just that harsh that GoodReads deleted.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I'm curious to know what it was.
Did you know? Okay, hold on. Now that we're talking about GoodReads and star ratings and stuff.
Okay.
Jessa Hastings' book, Never.
Right.
That came out in like late December, early January. People were rating it so low, like spam rating it on GoodReads, that they shut all of the you couldn't comment for weeks.
Whoa.
Yeah, and like I think the average rating was like a 2 at the time or something. Wow. It was bad. Now they opened it back up, but people were like going in. I'm like, I don't know.
I mean, you didn't really like it, but I don't think that's like, that's crazy.
I think that's wild.
That's crazy. Which is with Jessa Hastings, because I haven't read any of her books, but we both really want to read Magnolia Parks.
Yes.
It's crazy to me how so many people absolutely love Magnolia Parks, but like nobody liked Never. Which I think is valid. I think, she was stepping out, trying a new genre.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just doesn't work. Obviously, maybe fantasy is not a genre for her. Yeah. Maybe she's better at just writing, that like the rich British people society type books. That's totally fine. That's very interesting though.
Yeah. I know.
Man. So we're gonna jump now into the segment that we still don't have a name for. We're gonna figure that out.
Help.
But I'll just read one of the questions that we have, which is from my roommate. So shout out to my roommate Mary. If you could read someone's biography / autobiography, whose would it be? And I think I'm going to take this as one that maybe is already written, like somebody who already wrote one.
I was thinking a fictional characters.
Well, let's do both. Let's each pick one. Let's do, because I like that. Let's do a fictional one and then
a real
maybe
person
one that actually
that we have not read. Okay.
Yeah.
First person I could think of that is sitting on my shelf, was given to me for my birthday, is Tom Felton's.
Oh yeah.
First of all, Draco lovers. I am also one, and I just love him so much. So I need to get to it anyway. That's my
real one.
Yeah,
okay.
That's my crush for sure. But the foreword is written by Emma.
That's so cute.
It's really sweet.
Aww.
Go ahead.
What's a fictional one?
I was gonna say Selena.
Yeah, because I want it from. It's funny because the book is in third person. We get a lot of her thoughts. We do get a lot of her inner thoughts, but I would almost want her to like journal entry type vibe.
Oh, that would be cool.
I would want that, I think.
Yeah.
Real person for me. I actually was walking around Barnes one day and I realized that Alan Rickman has one, but it's not in the traditional sense. It's his journal entries.
Oh my gosh.
So I picked it up and I was kind of just like flipping through it. And there it's basically categorized. I think a relative of his or some like close friend of his published it, which I don't know if they should have. Like, I feel like it's a little bit too personal because it's like journal entries. But either way, it's published and it's out there, and it is categorized in like by like 5-year segments. So it's like you can read like, I don't know, I don't remember when it started, but like for example during the Harry Potter era, right, you could read like 2000 to 2005, like those entries.
Oh, no.
And so a lot of what he talks about is like Harry Potter.
I'll
and
cry.
I was flipping through and I found one entry that was pretty funny. He was like kind of bashing it a little bit, but he praised John Williams' like score, which I think was really interesting. So
Amazing.
I was like, hey, there we go. I think it'd be really interesting to read that because obviously I don't know a lot about his life. But I think it'd be an interesting type of autobiography to read.
So
because it wasn't maybe written to be released to the public, but like now we have that. So
yeah,
I'd be interested in reading that one.
that's cool.
But I think I'll go a little bit different with a fictional character because obviously I would also pick Selena. I think it'd be really interesting to get like Adara's perspective on things from River Enchanted.
My queen.
Because we don't get a lot of her inner thoughts.
No, you're right. Yeah.
And I want to know, but I honestly also want like her pre-Jack coming in the start of the book. So like her being raised to be Laird and like her being the heir and like that kind of thing. Like I would want to see her thought process and all of that.
And all that time.
And then maybe
between.
Right. And then maybe like a journal entry that's like Jack came back type thing. Like I think that'd be really cool to see.
That's cute.
I don't know. If that existed, that'd be really fun.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, thanks guys for tuning in this week.
Yeah.
Don't forget, actually, it would be so cool if you've been here a while or you're new and you're enjoying it. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or send us a DM. We always love talking to you guys.
Yeah.
But
we've had some really sweet conversations with some of y'all.
I know, you guys are the best.
It's been really fun.
I'm so glad we could be your internet book besties.
I know. We love reaching out. So yeah, please leave us a review. Chill, let us know if you had a good time.
Yes.
And we'll see you next week.
You're the best. Bye.
Bye.